And I'm also going to stream, signing up for YouTube Live.
It's so hot. I can't believe it's winter.
You are hot.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
Sexy lady. How do they just close this down? Close that. I think we're live on there. Right, how do I share? Do you know what? You'd think by now I'd be better at this, wouldn't you? Here we go.
I'm glad you're the one who's doing it, not me. But it says that we're streaming now, so it's all good.
Yeah, I want to share it. If I go to here, morning everyone that's watching me. I'm doing the normal. Hold on.
Me, but it says that we're
Hold on, let me just turn that down. And I've got to share. How do I share this? Aha! Let there be light. Copy link. Right, I'm on it. Doing it. Paste. Hello, everyone. I post that. And I'm going to... Oh, I flipping love your faces. This is making my Friday already. Hold on, publish.
It's amazing. I've been running around doing all kinds of chores, and it's just, you think I'm so stuck in them, and then you think, no. If I miss this, I know I'll ruin my weekend if I don't come start here.
I'm so glad you're here. Well, the thing is, as I say, like, I just do it so that we can just catch up, really. And to give ourselves value and others value. So hopefully they get it. So we are live streaming all over the world, just like interstellar, into the universe and beyond. And everyone up there is looking down on us going, ooh, it's Friday's happy hour. So today I have decided to rebrand our Friday chats to happy hour, because this is the hour where we can just get even more happiness. And we are here to bring it to you, to help you discover your own happiness, because happiness is an inside job. It's an inside job. So today we were going to talk about self-acceptance, because self-acceptance is so important to happiness, being happy, being aware of your strengths and your weaknesses, and having a positive self-attitude, just in life in general. The way you look at things, the way you can reframe things, that if something comes back at you and it's a little bit what you wouldn't expect. Number one, don't expect anything, because you can't expect anything apart from yourself. And even then, be kind to yourself. But generally, self-acceptance is taking yourself, warts and all, for the beautiful, incredible and unique person that you are and what you're bringing to this planet, right? So there's many ways you can do this, and we're going to chat today with my happy hour. We can't go to the pubs, but we can have it online. How's it in South Africa now with the pubs opening? Are they open?
Oh no, some restaurants are open, but they're not allowed to sell alcohol for consumption on site, so you can only drink alcohol at home. And it's so weird because you can only buy alcohol Monday to Friday now, Monday to Thursday.
Wow.
So if you forget on a Friday, you don't have for the weekend. It's just, and they're still not allowed to buy cigarettes. A whole cigarette trade is, thankfully I don't smoke, but the whole cigarette trade is
wow.
I promise you it's political. And yeah, we won't go there, but no, people are desperate. They're buying on the black market. It's starting such a huge, big, yeah.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It's political. Yeah, I think it's
Well, I mean, the thing is, in England...
I'm just grateful I don't smoke, because seriously, they're charging huge amounts.
Do you know what? I actually used to smoke. I say I used to smoke, but now I'm on this. Hold on. Advertising, sponsored, no. Nicorette. But at the start of the pandemic, I didn't smoke a lot anyway. I only had a few. But at the start of the pandemic, I'm sure that I got COVID, although on the test that I had, it came back that I didn't have it. So, but since then, that's the super drug test that I took has been recalled now. So it wasn't a correct test, and I still swear I had it. But since that day dot, when I thought that I had it, I stopped smoking, and I haven't had it since. But I have had Nicorette. Nicorette's really... It does the job, and it is literally the nicotine. It's not even the habit anymore. It's just like getting that nicotine.
Is it a chewing gum or what is it?
I've got the chewing gums as well. I'm a proper hardcore into the old nicotine, love. But no, this is a spray, and you spray
Okay.
it into your mouth, and it's like tastes all fruity. I like it. It's better
Okay.
than smoking anyway. I don't taste like an ashtray anymore. It's great.
That is good. Yeah.
Happy days. So yeah, so it's self-acceptance for me. Okay, so throughout my life, oh, for many, many, many years, I was bullied. As a lot of people that were watching this will know, I was bullied for so many years, right from primary school into secondary school. Really badly bullied, physically and verbally, more verbally and mentally than physically, but there was physical as well. And my self-esteem was absolutely rock bottom. And everything that I ever did in my life was almost to prove to everybody else and to myself that I was worthy of being able to do these things, and that I could do them, and that nothing was impossible. And like, you know, all those bullying things, you know, look who I am. I don't need to feel like that anymore. But all of those things that led me, it was a strong anchor actually in my life to push me through and to keep that push on. So I am grateful to it in a certain way, not for the pain that it gave me, but for almost the like a rocket, like making it happen, because I was going to prove to the world and to myself that I could do this. I could do anything I wanted. So I'm grateful to it, but I'm so much more grateful to being at peace now and finding my true vocation in life, and being at one with who I am as a person and accepting myself fully. Because I know very, very well I'm far from perfect, and we all are far from perfect, really. But that's okay, because that's what makes the world go round, because imperfection is perfection. We're all perfect in our own ways. And once we can accept ourselves for who we are, then at that place there, then you're in the place that you can give out love to everybody else around you and to the entire world, and create the world of your dreams and your design, because you're starting from a place of self-love. I'm all about the self-love. So yeah, what do you reckon, Anna?
I agree. I think being able to sort of like recognize, you know, if you've got limitations, or as people might sort of deem their imperfections, it's being able to recognize that, but that in no way kind of interferes with your ability to fully self-accept yourself. And that's really, really key. I think they say like something like, I suppose having that loving stance towards yourself is the key to self-acceptance. And your level of self-acceptance determines your level of happiness. You know, and I think I hear so many people thinking or saying, you know, I'm not attractive enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not nice enough, I'm not good enough. And like you say, that all comes from past experiences, memories, interpretations, relationships with people, whether that's parents or siblings or kids at school or teachers. You know, and it is worrying to know. I think people see, you know, oh, this person only liked me if, you know, they would approve of me when. So you almost develop this, oh, it was a conditional acceptance. And then you have this sort of self-critique, which says, you know, it's that constant negative self-talk that interferes then with your self-acceptance. So it's really interesting how, as you sort of get older, and like you said that you've done yourself, is finding a way to come over that self-critique, that really negative inner voice that's essentially your worst enemy, that negative voice that says you're not good enough, you know, they'll only like you if you do this, you're not beautiful enough, you're not smart enough. And I think that's important. If you recognize that inner voice is your worst enemy, you wouldn't be friends with someone like that. So why allow your inner voice to be so horrible? And changing that voice to have that inner voice to be your best friend is what's going to help you with your self-acceptance, your, you know, your ability to love yourself, and then that will contribute to how happy you can feel. That's my initial one.
Yeah, and also what you're saying as well is absolutely perfect, because it's like, I'm too fat, I'm too this, I'm too that, but that's compared to what? Because we all put ourselves up against all these yardsticks that aren't actually real anyway, because half the time what we're seeing on the outside is maybe not what they're feeling on the inside, or what we're seeing on the newspapers or social media is not what they actually look like. It's been airbrushed and touched up and lighting and put in the best possible light, because life is almost like a movie in a way, because you can either be in the movie and playing your role as your authentic self, or you can be watching the movie but watching characters on the screen that are acting and just completely not who they fundamentally are inside. And so you're comparing yourself to something that isn't even real anyway, you know. So it's compared to, yeah, it's like, I'm too fat compared to who? Compared to what? Are you too fat compared to a sumo wrestler? But do sumo wrestlers think they're fat? Probably not. They're just happy. They're happy because they're doing what they love and they enjoy themselves. So compared to who's a model? Kate Moss. Well, yeah, okay, you're bigger than Kate Moss, but does that mean you are, you know? So we're all so different. We're like a box of chocolates, and inside we can eat everything and just be, you know, we're allowed to be different. Everything's allowed. You can accept yourself for being who you are, exactly where you are. Is my internet cutting funny?
No, it's fine.
Good. Because I keep seeing myself freezing, going like just then it did. So yeah, I mean, I'm probably rambling a bit there, but I think fundamentally
we're all so unique. I mean, I myself as a child, I was painfully shy. Like I really like cripplingly shy. And then you sort of get a little bit older. And then in my teenage years, I actually got beaten up twice. So not just, and I got bullied as well. And that affected my confidence for years and years and years, to the point I wouldn't go out, I wouldn't leave my house for a year, because I thought, well, everyone's going to hate me. Someone's going to want to beat me up. And it took me probably until my 30s to really, you know, I think I was always worried that people wouldn't like me and whatever I say would be stupid. And you're living in your head of thinking, you are literally living in your head, you know, in your thoughts, in your mind, thinking, I'm just not good enough. And yeah, so I didn't really have that self-belief until my 30s. And once I sort of took that and realized it didn't really matter what people thought of me anymore, because when you let that go, it gives you so much freedom and so much happiness. You just feel everything sort of skyrockets, doesn't it? You just feel amazing. It's just letting go of that thought of, oh, other people would think this of me, or other people will think that of me. It's probably one of the biggest life lessons, actually.
Yeah.
What do you think, Leigh?
Yeah, Leigh.
Yeah.
Sorry, every now and again a car goes by or something, so I've had the mute on. But I agree with what you're saying, and I also think that we're living in a time now where it's more difficult than ever. There are two things that I want to pick up. The one is, I'll just stick with you when you say, like in your 30s, that you suddenly gained that sort of, I think it's a wisdom. And I think as we get older, and it's just like, you do more and more just accept. You know, when things start changing and all of a sudden, it just doesn't matter anymore. You know, it's not as vital. But you have to do the work, and along with it comes the wisdom. But I also think we're living in a time now where, with the internet and stuff like that, social media, something that, yeah, Danielle, you said that sort of picked up my thing is, you know, we look at people putting these stunning pictures of themselves, and, you know, how often have you been in a restaurant or somewhere where people are just sitting there not doing anything, suddenly they snap and they take a photo and everything's great, and they take the food, and then they just sit, and it's actually not such a jaw, but you know that they're probably going to be putting that on Facebook, or possibly going to be putting that on somewhere. Hey, look at me, it's so marvelous. And we allow ourselves to become insecure because we think, oh, my life's not so much fun. And it goes back to comparison. It goes back to well, look at them, look what they're doing. And I think that's such a dangerous space that is becoming greater and greater with the more and more that we have, the more social media interaction. I mean, everything is so instant. You know, years and years ago, 100 years ago, whatever, the Spanish flu, you know, people didn't know what was happening. So there wasn't this mass fear, this mass nightmare going on. Yes, it was a nightmare, but in a different sort of way. And I think that we have to really consciously make an effort. We have to start thinking about it and working on it as soon as we can in life. Lockdown hasn't helped people. I mean, I've got friends in the UK, but she's, one of my closest friends. Her girls have been home, and they're young girls. They're sort of 13 and 14, 15, whatever. They're sitting at home all the time, and it's lonely. And so what are they doing? They're looking online. They're bored. I mean, there's about how much reading you can do, how much this. And so then we start the comparisons. Well, I'm not good enough. Look, they've got friends. Or look, they've got this going on. Or and that self-doubt starts creeping in. So I think it's something we need to be very conscious of. Why do you want to like yourself? Well, number one, if you don't like you, how can anybody else like you? What's the point? Like, why should they like something that you don't like? And even if it's just a little thing every day, even if it's just finding the one thing, I have beautiful eyes, or I have a nice right big toe, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
It's just like, find the thing, focus on it. And I remember years ago listening to a talk, I might have said it on here before now, but it's kind of a law of attraction thing where this woman was saying, if you want to have a divorce in life, if you find something about your husband that you don't like, or your boyfriend, whatever, and moan about it. Let it irritate you. Think about it. Talk about it. Tell him about it. Tell your friends about it. Focus on it. Talk about it some more. Think about it some more. Get irritated about it some more. Before you know it, there's more things. But if you actually don't want to, think about a couple of things you do like about him. And even again, if it's only one thing, think about it. Talk about it. Appreciate him for it. Tell your friends about it. And you'll start going in the right cycle. And all of a sudden you'll start accepting the things that aren't as nice as. So if we can start doing that about ourselves, like, what did I do that's nice? Even just one little thing. What did I do today that made me feel good? Or how did I make someone else feel good today? Because then that actually makes you realize that you're a good person too.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah.
And like when you talk about happiness as well, it's happiness is dependent on something. If you're talking about my happiness is dependent on getting this or that, what is it about that you're getting that is going to make you happy? Is it a thought? Is it a thought of getting it? Is it a feeling that you're going to have when you have it? Is it the lack of it that you're wishing to bring into your life because you don't have that thing? So when you know what it is, say I wanted, okay, so one of the things that I want in my life, when I'm a multimillionaire, which I already am, obviously, but is a Tesla. I really like a Tesla. Now, I don't want a Tesla for the status symbol of it. That doesn't bother me. I want a Tesla because it drives itself and it's so flipping cool, right? And it's just one of my things that I can visualize myself, seeing myself in this Tesla, buying the Tesla, going off and driving this Tesla, right? That's just my little thing and I can see it. So one day it will happen because of course it will. So, but when I look at it in myself, I feel quite complete as a person. But what is it about it that I want? And for me, it is being reliant not on a fuel system, right? So for me, it's the fact that it's an electric vehicle, that it will give me the freedom not to have to be reliant on an external pump or other people that control the oil or the oil prices, even though they are rock bottom at the moment. But this is my big thing. So it's almost like a self-sufficient thing. Yes, you need electricity, but you can make electricity. You can have solar panels. There is a way to create your own electricity. There's not a way that I can get my own oil, right? So for me, a Tesla signifies to me a certain kind of freedom and almost like a self-sufficiency. So that's what it, and the fact that it drives for me when I do my miles and miles of driving, it'll save me from getting in many accidents, I would have thought as well. But it's just, it's the technology, it's the fact that someone's designed this and put hours of research and years of research into something that's created something so clever. So the technology side of it blows me away. The fact that you're self-sufficient blows me away. And the fact that it's brand new. It's something, well, it's not brand new now, obviously, but when I wanted one, which was good maybe 10 years ago, when it first started coming out. I always loved it. I always loved the idea of a Tesla. And yeah, so it was just something that I always thought one day, oh happy day, I'm going to get myself a Tesla. But I didn't want to be like renting it or leasing it or anything. I want to be able to buy it, and then when I get it, that's mine, and then I can go everywhere with it and worry about the electricity and make it myself if I need to, because I'll be multimillionaire by then and it's fine. So yeah, that's my thing. So my external, that's what makes me happy, is almost like a self-sufficiency. That's what I almost like aspire to, the fact that I can look after myself. I suppose that's what it all comes down to, you know, looking after.
Reliant on that, is it? That's
God, no.
Happiness, like I will be happy when I get this Tesla.
No.
I'm happy now. You can see one thing, so one day that'll be nice to have. But your self-acceptance and happiness isn't reliant on that. And that's,
No, that's right.
I haven't done it for a lot of years, but I used to with my coaching clients. When they first came, I'd say, you know, if you want to feel horrible, you know, what is your worst thing? What do you not like feeling? And then they'll say whatever word it is. What do you need to do to feel like that? Oh, well, I just need to see a bad movie, or someone has to say that to me, or this, or that, or the next thing. So they just have one quick thing. Okay, so now for you to feel happy and an emotion and a thing that you really want, what do you need for that? Well, I need to have my Tesla, and I need to have my house, and I need to have this, and.
Yeah.
And people start, they need this. It's actually what you said, Anna, just now, that when I have that, I'll be happy. But no, just if we could break that down to like, all I need to do to be happy is find the oars. And I remember going through a time when I did this quite a lot with myself, because we were going through quite a slump. Well, what are the things that made me happy? And my son was tiny, and you know, whenever he holds my hand, it was all I need to do to feel happy is have him holding my hand. All I need to be happy is to have a look at these mountains that I'm looking at now. See, I'm going in shadow, but anyway.
I love it.
You know, this is the thing, is that if we can find those little things and let happiness just be a moment, and when you look at the beauty, you attract the beauty. When you look at that, you know, so it's, and I definitely think have your goal, but it's also the feeling of being self-reliant is what's drawing you to that. Elon Musk was at school with my husband, by the way.
My ears, hold on. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, for goodness sake, technology. Hold on.
Anna, you can
hear
chat.
me?
Yeah. So
I can't hear anything. My sound's completely gone. Hold on, make it close.
You're not on mute.
I'm all right now. For some reason, my mic just gone. I don't know.
We can hear you.
You can hear me. So maybe it was the headphones might have just stopped. I don't know. Technology. Hey.
Can't live with it, can't live without it.
I know. I've got you through my speakers now, so it's good. I can hear you now. So yeah, Anna, what is it with like? What is there anything that you've?
I think. Have you heard? I don't know if you've spoken about this lady before. Have you heard of Chessie King? Heard of Chessie King? She is absolutely amazing. In fact, I'd say she's on Instagram. I'd definitely say look her up to anybody, male or female.
How do you spell her name?
CHESSIE, I think.
Yeah.
King.
Okay.
She's absolutely wonderful, and she's all about body confidence. So she will have photos. Now you said, like, if you're in a restaurant and someone will take the perfect, you know, selfie photo, they're laughing almost for 2 seconds, and then they go back to maybe not even talking to each other, and there's sort of this portrayal of everything's perfect. So she'll take the photo of her being, you know, like looking wonderful and, you know, everything else. But then she'll take the next photo where she, you know, she can be in a beautiful dress, for example, and she can just sort of hold her figure in a nice way, take this picture. And then she'll sit down, let the rolls just roll, and take a picture of that too, and say, this is the reality.
I love that.
Beautiful.
She's absolutely brilliant. She's beautiful, but she also doesn't mind, you know, if putting her sort of chin down and letting her have a double chin and taking a picture of that and saying, this is just me too. Yes, I might look wonderful from this perspective, but look at when I put my camera down here, I'm just a human too. I'm not this airbrushed perfect. And she doesn't do any airbrushing. She just takes these brilliant photos of herself. And she is just so happy because she's got this body confidence. She's a very tall girl. She said she was always like the tallest one of all of her friends, and always, you know, initially may have felt a bit of an outcast and stuff, but she's gorgeous and she exudes, and she's not this skinny little supermodel person at all,
No.
but absolutely gorgeous and comes across so sexy and confident because that's how she feels about herself. So I'd really recommend anyone looking up Chessie King and looking at her photos because she's just fabulous. I love her.
I'm gonna have a look at it.
I saw another lady on I don't know if it was her or something, who would be doing gym, and you know the thing is, it doesn't matter who and what you are, you know, it's not really that nice when you don't have the tight gym thing on or whatever. And she looks stunning in clothes, but then she lifts it up, and you know, obviously got a bra top, whatever. She shows you her stomach, and it's like she's skinny, she's thin, but there's those folds and the, you know, the bits and pieces that aren't that divine. And I love her reality. This is me, you know. So.
And that's what Chessie says. She's like, this is, do you know what? I am so, like, this is my tummy, and I've got rolls when I sit down. And thank you, body, for keeping me alive. And thank you, body, for letting my legs work and be able to walk around today. I'm so grateful to my body for all that it does. And everybody has, even if you look at what you think is the most perfect figure, everybody has imperfections. It's just
gosh, yeah, that's what makes you perfect. But the thing, this what you're just saying now, actually, it reminds me on Facebook as well. There's a lady, I wish I knew her name because she's flipping funny, right? But she takes these model pictures or model videos and she recreates them her way. So like, so say there's a model like with her leg up there and, you know, like looking over the ocean, or like with it jacked up on a car somewhere, you know, like this gorgeous, and then she'll be wearing the same outfit, but obviously she doesn't look like the model, and she's trying to get her legs straight up there and looking over like a lake or like or a dirty pond or something. So it'll just be like fantasy, reality, and she does it all the time. It's so funny and it's brilliant.
And that's it. And I bet she's far happier than the person who is, you know, a lot of models are starving themselves to be able to skinny, and I guarantee that the lady that's having fun is far happier than the model, probably. Not in all cases, of course, but in you know.
I remember we did a video once with the band that I used to manage, one of the bands I used to manage, and we filmed a video over in I think it was Finland. It was in Finland or somewhere like that, one of our pop videos, and there was a load of models in this video, all from there, and for like the lunch they bought pizzas for everybody. So all the models had a pizza, and then a little bit of pizza, and then there was a queue for the toilet afterwards. And I'm like, okay, because they weren't really eating the pizza. And then I was speaking to one of the models, and it was so sad because she said that to stop themselves from feeling hungry, they used to eat tissue paper. They used to eat tissue so that they wouldn't be hungry. And that was what they all used to do. And I just felt devastated for that, because I thought, okay, I've never been a size flipping 6 or an 8 or a 10. Actually, I've been a 12 a few times, and then it goes up. It's like a maths lesson, my body. But like, you know, when I was growing up, it really did matter, because I was the fat kid. I was, and it really did affect me. And I would never want anyone else to go through what I went through. So, you know, perspective is a beautiful thing. Growing up, it has brought me all kinds of wisdom, and the fact that the older that you get, the really more you just really don't care what people think about you. And I'm authentically me. If you like it, great. If you don't like it, I can't please everyone, and that's okay. That's okay. So so body to me I'm grateful the fact that I feel better, because I was so blimmin' ill for so long, you know. So every day, instead of looking at the bits that that maybe aren't aesthetically as pleasing as they could be, I look at all the bits that are working. Like, thank you to my thyroid for not giving up on me. Thank you to my my biggest thanks is for my perspective and my sense of humor, and you know, all of those things, because I just don't take life too seriously, and I just don't. And I really try and of course life is serious, and I'm serious about life, and I know that people go through stuff. I know all that, but for myself, I try and look on the brighter side, because every situation that we go through in life, however challenging it may be hard at the time to see that that perspective, but there will be a perspective on it when you look back on it. And if you can live through that challenging period with a step back, so it's not so heavy on you. If things are heavy on you, it weighs you down. If you can take a step back and just know that if it's out of your control, there's nothing you can do about it anyway. So just to accept that, it's like the self-acceptance. You're accepting the external things that you can't control. But if there is something you can do to control it in a light way, then do what makes you happy. What makes you feel flipping happy? And if it doesn't make you feel happy, don't do it. Or choose a different way. I mean, I'm quite kind of geared that way. What do you reckon?
Which is wonderful, but I also think that, you know, it's think about the people that you love or that you like or that you connect with. I can promise you, well, I would imagine that all three of us have friends that are big, tall, short, fat, thin, black, white. It really doesn't matter. You connect with some people and you don't connect with others.
Yeah.
And they will connect with someone else and others. So everybody in the world has people that we connect with and we love. I mean, my mum's business partner was the most beautiful woman I think I've ever known. She was a huge lady, but she just, her soul, her life, her happiness, she was just like, people were attracted to her because of what you say. She took things lightly. She was excited for other people. She loved people. She was interested in people. And I think when we take the focus off of, oh, you know, my roll of fat doesn't look right here, or, you know, it doesn't matter. It actually, it doesn't. If you're really desperately unhappy, well, then maybe just, you know, do a diet, do a bit more exercise or whatever. But at the same time, start accepting and being grateful because people love you, you know, and be interested in others. What is it about them or you or...
Yeah, and taking responsibility to change the things that you aren't 100% happy with, because once you're working towards those things, maybe you find it in yourself the self-acceptance anyway, because you're solving other little things in your life that maybe need addressing to get to that point. And then maybe that point isn't so important anymore, you know, because you're on that road to self-acceptance and discovery and happiness. So
I also think learning to let go. Sorry, Anna. Go.
I can hear a bird.
Yes, they're here in the tree.
What birds are they?
There's little tiny things. There are a lot of mouse birds that hang around here in the tree, but they're little tiny things now coming to eat we've got like olive trees and they just come and eat the olives. Yeah.
Nice.
Olives.
You could see them, they're almost like white eyes, but I don't think they are.
That makes me happy.
Oh, we've got beautiful birds, and we've got the fish eagle that often like says his cry above us, and blue cranes, and no, we live in a beautiful place. It's stunning here.
I'm coming over.
Oh, I've got
you've got a place to stay. You know that. You all do. You know that.
Thank you. I will take you up.
Than pigeons here, so yours sounds a little bit more exotic.
Oh no, we've got lots of pigeons around the back too. Don't worry. And we've got these black starlings that are so pretty, and they make the most beautiful sound, but they sit on the roof and poo, and it's disgusting. Self-acceptance. I got to accept my house.
It's like, we can wash it off. It's fine.
Yeah, true.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, I don't even know where we were. Anna.
No, I think so. The key that we all seem to be coming back to is that self-compassion seems to be the way to go forward, to have self-acceptance, self-compassion, letting go of guilt, learning to forgive yourself for things that maybe have happened in the past. Maybe if you recognize that you haven't done something well in the past and that's kind of caused you to beat yourself up a bit, what you also have to recognize is that at the time you did that, you were doing the best you could possibly do with the skills and knowledge and thoughts you had at the time. So at the time, it seemed like the best thing to do. What's important now is if you recognize something that you think you wouldn't like to do again, then you've learned a lesson from it. So there's no point in continuing to beat yourself up. All you need to do is change that in the future. And be compassionate towards yourself about that. So, do you know what? I've recognized this. I've learned something from it. That's actually a really good thing. I'm going to take that going forward and be nice to myself. And yeah, I think again, it does come back to that inner voice. If that inner voice is saying, oh, you look disgusting. Oh, you're such an idiot. Oh, you're so stupid. You've got to recognize that voice and then train it. You're like, do you know what? I'm not having you speak to me like that anymore. So how can you train that inner voice to be actually your best friend that's going to help you going forward in life?
I think that's where shadow work is so powerful sometimes, is to find out, you know, what is your shadow self and work on that. Because we all have that side. We all have the side, whether we like it or not, that side that is, you know, sometimes the people that we dislike most are the ones that are most like us, which is dreadful to think about. But that's the shadow side that we hide away and that we don't want to be seen and we don't want to deal with. So if we can actually do the shadow work and spend time, like, what is the goal? What is stopping me? And actually spend time focusing on the, you know, what are the things that I'm doing to sabotage myself? I mean, you really need to take time. Well, close your eyes. What is the image that comes up? You know, I remember the first time I did it, I mean, the sort of black witchy creature came up with the shadow side, and then you look at the divine you, the you know, the me side, the, I don't know what the opposite is, kind of like queen, whatever. And what did that look like? And I mean, the whole image was just beautiful. It was light, it was bright, it was, you know. And the thing is that if you can't accept that and love it and change it and do something, you know, the negative. And I don't like the word negative, because it's that side of you that you have to, like you say, Anna, just talk to and choose to train it, because it is a habit. It is one of those things that we get into the same little routine, saying, I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't whatever, negative and horrible. And I tell you also, the people around you, they don't like it when you're horrible about yourself. No, you know, like if I say something negative, my husband's like, stop doing it, stop saying it. You know, it actually upsets that person because they love you and they don't agree with that. Absolutely. And because it is not the truth generally, those kind of things.
Yeah, it's self-sabotage. That's all it is. It's self-sabotage, and it's beating yourself up for no reason at all. And I always say to people, what would you tell your best friend to do in that situation? So if you would tell your best friend to do this, then why are you doing that to yourself? Because at the end of the day, we are our own best friends. We are the ones that we are born alone. When we move on to the next dimension, we will be on our own, you know. And like throughout our journey, on our journey of life, we are going to meet people that, you know, that hopefully, you know, you travel through life with, but everything's a reason, a season, or a lifetime. So, you know, there's all different things. But at the end of the day, you are the most important thing in your own life, because that's who you are. So it's your duty to love yourself as much as you possibly can, and to get all the things that you're on this planet to give out to the world, you know, because that's why we're here. We're here for the message. We're here to spread, you know, positivity and love, and to create connection, and we're here to help others, and we're here to learn from others, and it isn't about how big your bum is today in that outfit, or how out of, I don't know, how your hair's not looking right today. It's not about that. You know, you've got to let go of all those ideas of what it should be like, and you know, and it's what is, and flipping love it when your hair's not there, because you're great because you've got the hair. You know, when half of my hair fell out about 10 years ago, because I've got Hashimoto's, and I used to have really thick hair, and literally, like when I went through a breakup, didn't I? I went through a couple of breakups, and my Hashimoto's, everything kicked in at once, and literally half my hair fell out, and there was clumps coming out in the shower, and I was in such a bad place. But now, and it never grew back, really. I mean, it's never grown back the same. I mean, I'm grateful for what I've got. That's the thing. I'm grateful for what I've got. But like, you know, back at that time, well, I mean, that was really the last thing that I was worried about, because it was everything else. But now I'm at one with myself. I'm so grateful that I've got my hair, what I've got left, you know, and I'm so grateful that even though it is grey and I have to dye it, I've still got the hair that I can dye. And, you know, if you don't have hair, you know, and you've, you know, haven't got that anymore, then you've got to look at the positive things of it, you know, reframe the situation, because we've all challenged in certain ways. Nobody's, you know.
Oh, everyone's got a story. You're so right. Everyone's, I mean, it's not, unfortunately, life isn't just a breeze for anybody. It might look it, and we might think others are going through it, but everybody's got their story, and their ups and their downs, and their sides they hide away and sides they keep. And
that's right. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. It's madness. But yeah, I want to say to everyone, flipping love yourself. Look in the mirror. Look in the mirror. Look at the parts of you that you wouldn't normally look at. right? Because you're avoiding them, and just look at them and send love to them instead of ignoring them, because that's
actually interesting. Yeah.
that's
It's to actually send love to it, because I think, some of the old sort of Louise Hay was look in the mirror and say, I love myself. And yes, I think it's a very good affirmation to start working on. I love myself. I love who I am, whatever. Marissa Peer is amazing with I am enough, writing it on your mirror and stuff. But it's, but just sending love to it, because if I say to myself, oh, I love that, and I don't, then I feel like I'm lying to myself. So it doesn't feel like a sort of a real thing going on. Whereas if I say I'm sending love to you, which is what you just said now, which I've never thought about before, that makes so much sense to me, because you're a little part that needs love, clearly. So I think it's so stunning. It's really a cool.
I do all the time, because like with my illness, with my eustachian tubes as well, they've all gone, they're not working as they should be, but I'm so grateful, and I send love to them, the fact that they are healing, they're doing the best job that they can do for me, and I'm so grateful for them to be also signaling there was a problem in another part of my body, and that's being affected from something else in my body, from my gut. So it gets better when I take care of my gut health. So for me, that's a signal for me, hold on a minute, something's got to be sorted out there. So everything has its positives, and okay, so it's not the most pleasant thing to go through all the time, but I'm grateful, and I thank it, and I love the parts of me that are working and doing the best job that they possibly can for me at the time now. So yeah, that's what I try and do that. Where are you, Anna?
No, I think that's really lovely. And I think perhaps if you notice that you are, constantly speaking down to yourself, and maybe ask yourself where you want to kind of be in sort of 2 or 3 years time, and how do you kind of see yourself? Because if you're constantly, you've got to think about what your input is going to be your output as well. So if I'm constantly saying to myself, you look awful in that, your belly's too big, your bum's too fat, your hair's awful, how is that going to affect you? If you think about realistically, if that's what you're constantly putting into yourself, how's that going to affect you in years to come? What's the person you want to be in 3 to 5? And if actually you look at the person in 3 to 5 years and you think, what do I really want to be? What do I really want to be? And if you want to see this happy, confident person who's surrounded with people that love them and like them and care about them, what do you need to change? What do you need to change about the way you're thinking and your current input, what you're giving yourself now to reach to be that person? And it isn't going to be you're crap, you're rubbish, you're not good enough. That isn't going to help you achieve where you want to be. So what do you need to do? What are the steps you do need to change to reach that outcome realistically? And breaking that down, I think, because it's very easy to say, okay, in 3 years' time, I'd love to be this really confident, vibrant, happy person. Okay, well, what do I need to do to get to that? What are the steps I can, realistically put in place to get to that point? But how would you suggest, well, both of you really, do you start breaking that down? What steps could you put in place? Any suggestions or tips of doing that?
I think that's something that it comes back to that decision. Do you want to change? Do you want to love yourself? Do you want to be happy? You've actually got the starting point is very often to do what you've just said now, is to work with the ending point. So, and again, I think that ending point needs to be the feelings as well. It mustn't just be, when you spoke about your Tesla, it was the feeling of being self-reliant that you're going for.
Yeah.
And I think when you know that that's why you want it, there's a greater something to it. So but I think the starting point, basically the point here is what I want, where do I want to be, and to actually allow yourself to spend time on yourself, because everything in life is work. And we so often get cross with people or things, or we want others to help us or others to change us, but unless we're willing to put the work in. So I think creating your own affirmations is vital. I spoke a couple of weeks ago, and you weren't here, about the questions we ask ourselves. Why am I so fat? Well, what's your body going to say? I don't know. Whereas if you start saying, how can I lose even more weight than I already have? Now you're acknowledging that your body's already started losing weight, and how can I lose more? So you're asking your brain a more confident question. So you can then start creating your own affirmation out of something like that. How can I, with my God-given talents, love and provide for my family even more? Or how can I create greater abundance and be able to share more with everybody? You're kind of saying, how can I continue doing something I already am and do it even more? So you're kind of getting yourself on a momentum roll, as opposed to a oh well, I can't lose weight. Well, if you say that, your brain's going to say, well, no, you can't. Great. So I think the awareness is always the starting point, and when you've got the awareness, then it's this, yeah.
It's focusing on
and
the
even
positive rather than negative. The more you focus on something, the more you're going to attract it. So if you're focusing on I'm too fat, you're focusing on I am too fat. So if you're focusing I'm losing weight, you're focusing on that. That's what's going to happen. Your focus, you've got to shift your focus to the positive of the situation, onto what you're visualizing your future self as, I think
that's why the movie of the mind and things like that with NLP are also very good, you know, sort of actually seeing the movie, and also putting the goal into the future and things like that. I love that. I really, really love that with people, because it's so powerful and it just works incredibly. It's one of my favorite sort of techniques to use, because it's foolproof. It's brilliant, you know, because we're putting in positive stuff for ourselves. There's a little app I've got. It's affirmation app, and kind of buzzes up every now and again. I think 3 times a day. I'll send it to you a link. You can do it, and it kind of buzzes up, and you can put your own affirmations in, which I think are generally more powerful than using somebody else's. But it just reminds you, and then a little button presses, and so. Or you can use the affirmations app, but I'll send it to you. You can put a link on here.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll put a link up. Absolutely. Love it. Oh, I love our chats.
You can still have self-acceptance then, can't you? Even if you recognize, okay, maybe I have got some limitations, or maybe, you know, I would like to have my muscles a bit more toned. You can accept all of those things and say, yeah, that, you know, I'd like to have more, but you still completely accept who you are now. So it's like what you're saying, Leigh, is, yeah, you know, I would like to have I'd love to have a 6-pack.
Yeah, wouldn't we all?
I got a 6-pack in the fridge.
I am.
Dawn, I don't. It's Friday. I can't buy any.
That's that you can sort of recognize those without it impacting your self-acceptance. You know, I agree with the way I am now. But it would be great to have a 6-pack. You know, and I'd like to have that in a year from now. So what do I need to do to achieve it? So it's not saying you just have to just stop and just be. You know, you can still change things and develop things. And if there is something you might think, oh, you know, I'm really crap at speaking French. Do you want to speak French? Okay, I'd love to learn French. So then you can go on a course to then learn French. So, but it doesn't, just because I am crap at speaking French doesn't mean that I don't have self-acceptance. So you can still love yourself.
Oh yeah.
Whilst saying that there are still things I'd like to do, or skills I'd like to learn, or, you know, whatever they are. But it doesn't mean that.
And also be honest with yourself, like, would I like to learn French? Yes, and then do it. Or actually, no, I'm wanting to because so-and-so does, or somebody else wants me to, or something. Then there's no drive, there's no motivation. So you can accept, it's okay. I personally, truly do or don't want to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, do what makes you happy and do more of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're perfect at everything, in every way, then you actually wouldn't be a human being, and you wouldn't be in this reality.
If you are, who is? Let's talk about this.
I don't know.
It can only be fictional.
I don't know. Maybe like the Dalai Lama would probably be close to me.
Oh, but there's still no perfection. Yeah.
No, they're not. They'd never say they were either. That's the thing.
Take pride in your imperfections, because that's what makes you human, isn't it?
And individual and unique and special, you know, those little different bits about us are little things that are.
We're all quite in our own ways, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
When people sometimes say to me, "You're a bit weird, aren't you?" I take that as such a huge compliment.
How do I?
I'm like, yeah, I am a bit. I'm really glad of that as well. I wouldn't want to be just normal. We've all got.
What is normal?
Yeah.
What is normal? I don't know. Oh, yeah. I embrace my weirdness. I embrace it on a daily basis. Fantastic. A little bit of madness helps the days roll by much easier.
Definitely.
Yeah, and you know, it's true though. It's I think when we can start embracing those differences and start embracing, I am different to those around. Because often I used to think, I'm not accepted because I'm so different. I don't sort of feel like I fit in anywhere. And I don't fit in to a large degree to the kind of the norms of little cliques of groups and things. It just doesn't, I rather have lots of different ideas and people, and I'm different. And I think when you actually realize that's okay, that's cool, it's who I am. And yeah, I think self-acceptance is a growing process, growing into that it's okay. I don't need to be where everyone else is doing what everyone else is doing.
Yeah.
And we let go of that need to have it. It's
Yeah.
just, it's like a relief. It's like a real sense of relief, I think. Yeah.
It's like I'm quite old-fashioned, so I still listen to music on CDs and records, which people around me find utterly hilarious. They're like, "Why don't you?"
I love it.
I do, and yeah, and I don't know a lot of new modern musical artists. My musical artists will all be from the 90s or earlier. I don't know anyone, and people say to me, "How old are you? 40 or are you like 85?" But I embrace that, and I'm like, yeah, I know, I'm really old-fashioned. And I quite like that's just who I am. I don't know modern music. I don't know who this person is, and people laugh at it. But I quite enjoy that. I'm like, yeah, that's me.
I like it. Yeah.
Everyone, I mean, also it's anchoring, isn't it? We're anchoring our music tastes and everything like that to our time that we were really happy at that time. I mean, maybe not all the time, but the majority of that time was just really great feelings. And once again, you're going back to the feelings and the feeling of hearing that music. It's stimulating all those emotions inside you that you felt when you heard it back in the day. And that's just so powerful. The power of music and happiness is just it's entwined, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought this morning I must send to you about music. It made me think of you. So I'll send it to you later.
Yeah. Nice.
Cute little picture.
Oh, I love it.
I had a guy come and I've just bought this new house. I had a guy come and fit the carpets, and he was only like 22. And he came upstairs and he was like fitting the carpets, and he said to me, he was like, what's this black box up here? And I was like, well, he went next to the TV, and I was like, oh, that's the DVD player. And he went, a DVD player? He went, he went, that's so retro. And I was like, get out of my house.
No.
But that's quite funny. It is. It's just, yeah, I am a little bit old fashioned.
No, you're not. But no, they're compared to.
I'm well happy with that.
I would. Ours doesn't work or whatever. So now my son has to put a DVD on his PlayStation thing for me. So I can't even watch a DVD here. It's ridiculous because I don't know how to do it.
Technology just flipping flies though, isn't it? 20 years. But you know what? Maybe all the stuff now, the world just stopped for a while. Maybe everything will slow down a little bit more, maybe. I don't know.
It's hopeful, but I doubt it.
No, I doubt it. I mean, and the thing is, at least I'm open to change, and I'm open to things that I love technology, as I say, with the Tesla. I mean, I think it's just incredible, and I like seeing what's out there. But I also think that, I don't know, comfortable isn't necessarily comfortable. Which I mean, I like comfort. I like my old and growing up years and all my reminiscing and all those memories. But I also like what might be, what could happen, what can possibly exist, and sometimes I am a bit blinded by technology, and it's almost too much. But if you can just kind of cut it down, do it step by step, I tend to find that works. Like at the beginning of this pandemic, I didn't know how to use the computer, really. I didn't know how to use Final Cut Pro and all these things that I'm using, because to me it was technology, and that was a scary thing, and it was like I wasn't used to that. I didn't even know how to use a flipping video camera half the time, and now I've pretty much set up a studio.
Aren't you?
Yeah, and because I've done it bit by bit and I haven't pushed myself too hard, I've done it, okay, so let's just do that. And I've asked for advice, I've asked for help, and done it in my own way. And anything that's too much, I'm like, hold on a minute, just stop. and just do it step by step by step, so that it's easy for me to understand. Because I get, the only thing that makes me go whoa is if it's like overload of science and overload of technology, that it's like overtaking my brain, so I don't understand. And if I don't understand, then I can't, and I don't want to do it. If I don't understand something, it stops me from wanting to do it. So if I have a goal of this is what I need to do to get my ideas out, I want to do this more than I don't want to learn it. So by doing that and just taking it very slowly, step by step, and being kind to myself, and knowing that about myself, that I can't just go blah, 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 you know, just by accepting who I am as a person, just taking it step by step. Now I've got to the stage now that I can use Final Cut Pro. No, I'm not an expert at all, but the bits of it that I want to use at a time, like with Anna, with our course, when I found the way to do that side bits. Do you remember those side bits?
Yeah.
Like with that, I didn't know how to do it, and I had to install stuff and flipping download stuff and follow all these instructions. But I did it, and I learned it, and now I know how to do it. So step by step is just key.
So even though you're not a complete professional with it all, aren't you? You're really proud of yourself and what you've learned, from what you've learned so far, just in the space of lockdown.
3 months.
That's the key, isn't it? It's like, okay, I'm not a professional, I'm not an absolute whiz, but I'm really proud of myself for what I've learned so far.
Exactly.
Having that
and that in itself is self-acceptance. You know, it's like, wow, look what I did. I actually achieved, and it's acknowledging your achievements, acknowledging the good.
Yeah.
So that's divine. Yeah.
Oh, I love you all. I can't believe it's that time again, isn't it? It's that time.
I can't see with my glasses on.
It's 11:55 and it just flies by with you guys. I love you. Yeah. I'm so glad that we had our chat this morning.
Yeah, likewise. It was good.
And Anna, I didn't normally see you, so like
I've not been online for a while, but I'm back on now, so hopefully I should be able to chat more.
Oh, that'd be
cool.
Oh, I love you both so much. Oh, Leigh, I love it. Let's have a look at the view one more time before we go.
Yep.
Everyone that's watching.
Hey, you're a beautiful mountain.
Oh, look at this, guys. This is visual.
Can you see it? I don't know.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Oh,
stunning. So, but we've got, I mean, for ages and ages, I mean, I'll take you straight into the sun if I look that way. But that side, we've got those mountains. And then the other side, we've got Table Mountain. But it's a bit far. You won't be able to see it out the...
That's goals right there.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So very lucky.
Oh, darlings. Well, listen, you enjoy your beautiful view. Oh, thank you for sharing that with us.
I mean, this is such a stunning winter's day. I can't believe it. So a couple of days ago, we were sitting at the fire, freezing, and like now it's
weather, just like that. Weather the weather, whatever the weather.
Exactly.
So anyone that's watching, guys, I'm going to put all the links in the description. I hope you've enjoyed our happy hour, because it's sure me flipping happy. And I just kind of ramble on about, I don't know, stuff. Half the time I think, what did I just say? But hopefully it kind of made some rough sense.
Don't we all, Danielle? Don't we all?
Yeah.
I embrace the fact that my brain sometimes doesn't work as fast as my mouth, or the other way around, whatever it is. That's all right. That's okay. So everyone, have the most incredible weekend. Check everyone's pages out. I'm going to put the listings below. Like and subscribe and flipping share alike. Raise your vibration, be the light, and loads and loads of love from me, and loads and loads of love from
all of us.
All of us, yeah. So we're going to sign off now with that. I'm going to just end the live.